Last night I said I was going to try something different. Shoot a little poetic film. Something quieter than usual. So this morning I got up early, made coffee, and spent like an hour filming a shower curtain. I was also going to document myself doing it. Behind the scenes, the whole thing. Well, I got so wrapped up in the doing that I forgot to film the doing. So what we basically have is a 60-year-old man here, alone in a cabin, in an empty national park, calling action to nobody but himself. The actions of a guy making something that, frankly, no one asked him to make.
There we go. And action. Jesus, not even focusing on me. Stay in the eye. Stay in the eye. Okay, action. Jesus. Alright, take two. See how that looks. Jesus, all this for a fucking shot. Good Lord. Good morning. It's kind of an odd angle here. So yeah, I had every intention, like I said last night, before I turned in for the evening, to do a little bit of kind of parallel storytelling, if you would. Putting together, well, I didn't do it, basically. I was focusing on one thing, and that was capturing some of the morning, I don't know, feel. I tell you what, it's so quiet here, I can hear a little bit of tinnitus in my ears. Some of you people approaching 60 years old might know what that is. Maybe even, I don't even think it's an age thing, but it doesn't bother me per se unless I think about it. And then it can become maddening. So we try not to think about it. Anyway, I'm just about to journal here, and then the plan for today, I think this episode is just going to be just kind of a short little journey through this beautiful area called the New River Gorge. It's the country's latest and greatest national park. I'm here at probably the time that nobody comes here. Hence the fact that there's nobody in this whole Adventures on the Gorge. It's all these cabins. You can set up a tent here. You can do an RV. They have cabins of all different sizes, shapes, and varieties. But anyway, this is where we are here. I'm kind of at the north end. I may go back and capture a couple of waterfalls that I already went by. Although I don't know about that. Why revisit that? I may go up by the visitor center again, and they seem to have a nice little museum attached to it. There's 5 things here, main park destinations. I think, why reinvent the wheel? I'll probably try to enjoy them. There's this place called the Thurman Historic District. There's the Sandstone Visitor Center down by the Sandstone Falls. So I'm going to at least do those. We'll see what that gives us, or what that gives us. We'll see where that takes us, what kind of images I can find along the way. And it's either going to be entertaining or an epic failure. So I'm driving around this place here that I'm staying that is called Adventures on the Gorge. If you're going to stay in the New River Gorge area, this is kind of the place to go. I mean, whether you're camping or RVing or want to stay in a little cabin that has no restroom, and use the facilities in the what they call the comfort station in the RV industry, or in a cabin like mine that has its own bathroom. It's a convenient place if you're going to explore the park. Looks like these little cabins have air conditioning units that I don't know if they necessarily have bathrooms. I don't think they do. Or I, as a single traveler, probably would have stayed down here. But the comfort station's around the corner. That's one kind, and I'll give you a little tour of my cabin later on. Here's a double decker here. It looks like it's got a little loft. A couple of these do off to the right side here. Again, the website lists all this stuff. Should ask this guy something about this place. How's it going?
Good.
I know I'm staying here off season. I'm in the other cabin down there, just driving around checking it out.
You're fine.
Yeah. What's the busiest time of the year up here? Is there a time where all these cabins are full?
I don't really know. I'm just here checking for some AEP, the power company stuff.
Oh, okay.
I don't actually work here or nothing.
Cool. Is this place relatively new?
I don't think so.
No? Looks like it's pretty well kept.
I think it's been here a little while.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, have a good one.
You too.
Take care. Well, now we know less. We actually know less than when we started that conversation.
I'm like 15 feet from the road. Couldn't be any colder. Look at that! It's just the waterfall so loud it sounds like it's in the car. So I've never in my life been to a waterfall that was so close to the road, to the main road. There were some notifications on my phone about flood warnings in this area, which I can see why. The rivers are really kicking right now, and I think they're expecting some more rain. But we're good. I'll let you know if I hear any sirens. So that was a great place to stop. I filmed a bunch of clips with traveling with the FX6. I think I mentioned that. And I did some other clips too, and shot some stills with the ND filter. Again, waterfalls are I don't know why, they're my favorite subject because they're so kinetic, but yet you can freeze the energy with the right settings for your stills, and then also they're fun to video. Lately, I've been doing a lot more video, and so yeah, we are definitely, I think we're in the national park now. There will be no drone flying here. God, I love travel.
All right, so I want to do something completely different here. By the way, this is present day Mike editing this. In present day being July of 2026. I took this trip in February of 2025. And I got to tell you something. I'm really struggling with how to stay interested in this. You know, when I first started doing this whole thing, I told my friend Frank, and by the way, behind this, while I go off on a little bit of a tangent here, little bit of a rant maybe. I'm going to have some footage of some waterfalls that I captured and some images from this recent place I was at, which was really cool. Got a bunch of scenic overlooks and tons of footage of driving, chats to camera, drone flights. I'm not sure when I'm going to put all that in or how I'm going to put it in, but I want to have something going on as B-roll. And you're probably wondering, Mike, why are you doing this now in this video? And the truth is, I've got so many projects going on right now that are kind of taking some of my time, maybe my focus from some things I want to create that I'm really struggling with finishing this project. And this project of visiting all 50 states in 1 year. The year that I turned 60, which to be honest with you, I thought was going to be a very interesting topic to cover. And I thought I was going to slowly build an audience that was interested in this. And there would be feedback and more views and comments and interaction. And I would be sharing part of the country that, I don't know, I didn't have profound moments, but I had my own unique moments, and I thought that was going to resonate with people. But for some reason, the algorithm does not seem to be pushing my content. And I started reaching out to AI. I use AI a lot, as you know, as I've talked about many times here, just to kind of get like a little bit of a reflection on, you know, maybe why my stuff's not being pushed out. And they, you know, one of the first things it tells you is create these amazing thumbnails, and they tell you how to make them. And I've experimented with that. And as you could see here, this is a typical one that they recommend here. I mean, Lori's got some great content. As you could see in this video here, over 8,000 views. This is just from 3 days ago. This is the typical thumbnail that AI or chat or Claude or whatever suggests that you throw out there. And I've experimented with that. Hasn't changed the channel at all. And if that's the case, if it's saying you need to do thumbnails like that, then what makes this work? From Sarasota Tim here. I mean, what kind of thumbnail is this? This is just a random one that got grabbed from his video. Or Catherine's here. Now, Catherine's work is really unique. She takes a lot of time putting her videos together, so I'm not knocking her channel, but she's got no information on this thumbnail, but yet she's got 5,000 views. Or Trout and Coffee over here, over 7,000 views. A man looking out from his camper van in Maine. I mean, it's a great photo, but there's no text on there whatsoever. So I can't trust AI. Everybody's got an opinion on what these thumbnails should look like, or what the title should be, or what should be in the video. You know, you're not entertaining enough, you're not saying enough, you're not giving the audience enough information. Well, then what makes a channel like this work? I just noticed this one the other day. This girl's channel basically through her eyes. Okay, she was in Mystic, Connecticut like I was. She named this video completely, I mean, ChatGPT tells you do not put 4K in the title or, you know, it's got to be a hook, whatever. Oh, really? It also says, you know, keep it around 10, 15 minutes long. So here's a 41-minute video that's got over 11,000 views, plenty of comments, only released 12 days ago. She says absolutely nothing in the entire video. In fact, most of her videos are just walking videos. I mean, look at that ratio. She's got less than 2,000 subscribers, just over 100 videos, and she's got 11,000 views on this video here. Again, the algorithm is pushing this. For some reason. I don't know. I can't figure it out. And again, I hate to sound like I'm griping and bitching and being a curmudgeon old man, but I'm just doing some self-reflecting here. And the fact that nobody is watching my videos anyway is one of the reasons I'm giving myself the freedom to do this. You know, when I started that project, I hope you enjoy the background video, by the way. But when I started that project of doing those live videos, I was okay with it because I didn't have an audience. I was learning. Nobody was showing up to the live streams. And again, I've had this conversation with my friend Frank many a times. He's like, you know, what's the driving force behind this? And he's talking to me about how to get more views. I'm like, dude, I don't really care. I'd be doing these things if I was just storing them on the hard drive. And to be honest with you, that's kind of what I'm doing here by throwing it on this channel, because nobody's watching this. I mean, an example, look at this. Look at my channel here. I released my video today, 3 hours ago. I've got 7 views. Now, guarantee you, if I uploaded this to another stream on another chat stream or into Claude, it would then look at this screenshot and title and tell me how wrong it is and tell me how it would change it. So it argues with itself. So I can't believe AI even. Like, you're really bitching a lot here. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. You know, I had a little chat to camera the other day. It was a 3-minute conversation, unedited, just a stream of consciousness on my Instagram channel. Threw it up as a reel. And I had way more interaction on that little video that it took me 3 minutes to make than I have for any of these videos that I've done. These over 100 and... what am I at now? 106 on this whole journey. These things take hours to edit, to put together, and to craft. Not to mention the experience of being there and filming all this. And sometimes I look at this and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I spending so much time putting this together if it's not to help somebody do something or see some value in what I'm doing? And maybe for some of you that show up here and watch these on a regular basis, there is, and I really appreciate you being here. But as I go forward and create something new with my new channel or any of these projects that I'm working on here, I start to think about, well, what creates an audience? I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words now. I made a couple of notes here. I'm just going off on a tangent. I did have a bunch of footage. A lot of it's boring footage, but check this view out, by the way. Look at this train track that kind of hugs the mountain here, the base of the mountain. It tracks right along the water. Gorgeous. And again, can you imagine this in the fall? I'll be back there, but what kind of video would I take? Do I do something similar to that Mystic video I was talking about and just video all day long? Don't edit it, don't say anything, throw it up on YouTube? What's the goal? Why am I creating all this content? Again, I started this as a way to document a moment in my life, a year, to take the time to travel and see new places, photograph new things, and think about life. Think about what my next step was, what new door I was going to walk through. Maybe that's the entire reason for this. And if this channel ever gets a massive amount of views, which I doubt at this point, maybe it's going to be when I'm long gone. There are many artists that created their entire lives, painters, that their work was never recognized until they were gone. anyway, I got a couple other screenshots I had here. Here's another example, not to go back to AI, but it suggested, don't put any like part 1 or part 2 or episode numbers because people will feel like they've lost out. And look, this goes against all those rules. He not only has the episode number or the part number in the screenshot or in the thumbnail, but he actually has it in the title. And look how long the videos are. They're around an hour long. And look at the views. Again, and a lot of these channels are not any more well put together, edited, or entertaining than I know mine are. And I know that sounds a little bit, I don't know, narcissistic or putting a little bit too much pride in my own work, but I think my stuff's good. I think it's watchable at least. And for those doubting the use of AI, I would suggest searching for AI history documentaries out there. This is a channel here. I'm actually taking a class on school, and the air conditioning just kicked in. Hopefully that's not too loud. Anyway, check out this channel here and look at the views here from some of his popular videos. This was from 10 months ago, but it's got 1 million views. This one here, this Spanish versus Aztec one. Next one, close to 1 million. Third one, 4 months ago, again, close to 1 million. Only 24 videos, and they are all done with AI and a voiceover. And they're really good, but I don't know. I'm going off in a lot of different directions, and I figured since nobody was listening, I'd come in here and just let you know what I'm thinking. And we'll end it with this. I'm going to finish this project, whether anybody watches it or not, whether my very last video, which will be in Hawaii, gets absolutely 0 views, it will get finished. I also want to say for those hanging out with me on a regular basis, I appreciate you being here. And Frank, I appreciate the input, but I don't think there's any way to fix what's happening here. I think the algorithm's going to push out what it wants to push out, and some of this is luck, some of it's talent, some of it's technique. But again, I think a lot of it is luck. And Mom, I definitely appreciate you being here. I'll make sure and send you this one. So we're just going to end this out a little bit with some footage I have of some waterfalls. Again, I was the only one there. I was really there off season. I had to drive through a really sad area on the way here. There were a bunch of RVs. I've been fantasizing this or romanticizing this world of living in an RV, traveling. But this was the other side of RV living here. You could see most of these places are kind of put up on stilts. I guess it floods down here a lot. Anyway, the waterfall area was amazing. I shot some cool images. I'll share them with you here as we head out. And then eventually we drove out of here when it was getting dark and headed back to the old lodge to close out the day.
All right, we have arrived. I'm on a boardwalk here going out to an area called Sandstone Falls. Check this out. This looks like a place that's constantly evolving. I was talking to the gentleman up there at the park station. And he photographs down here all the time, and one of the reasons is it's constantly changing. And you got to check this out. This is nature at its finest. Right now we're experiencing probably a spring runoff, although it's not quite spring yet, so I think there's a lot more water that's going to be flowing through here. See if I can get a shot close to that. There's where we are, right there. And I'm the only person here.
Thanks for listening to the rant. Watch this video go viral. That'd be hilarious. Anyway, if you're out there trying to create something on your own, it's got to come from within. And I think that's probably the reason I'll finish this, because this journey meant a lot to me. And I'm going to keep sharing it. But I'm also going to get caught up, because I've got so many other things to work on. All right, thanks for watching. I'll finish it up from the cabin, and I'll see you next week.
All right, so I'm back in the cabin finally. Had a long drive. Came up. I was going to go to that state park, but by the time I got in the car after the waterfall, and I snaked back and went through that town, it was pitch black, and I looked at my GPS. I was like, it's going to take me an hour and a half to get back. Anyway, I stopped off and was going to get a pizza to go, but I ate there. It was a good place. I had a really nice NA beer I'd never had before. It's grapefruit, little grapefruit in it. I was texting a lot with my family, and looking forward to getting up to Michigan. But anyway, just want to kind of put a closing on the day here. Can you believe, by the way, that I'm traveling with this camera? Look at the FX6 with my 28 to 135 power zoom with a boom mic. But I wanted to get some good footage with my brother, like I'm shooting a documentary, Looking forward to doing that. But anyway, I had it out. It's been a while since I shot with that camera. I photographed, was a DP for the Kahana project. Put a link to that below. Documentary that I did. It's on Amazon Prime now. And I used a couple of those plus my A7S III. And anyway, I got a lot of cleaning up here to do, fixing up, tidying up. Just want to say that just want to kind of put a closing on today. I think I've recorded enough stuff. End of day one here. And by the way, the noise you hear is my AC or heater. I didn't have it on all day. Came back to the cabin. Cabin's a little chilly. Anyway, what I was talking about this morning, that little bit that I did, it's going to be like a poetic sort of video. I think I have all the footage I need. If not, tomorrow I'll grab a little bit more. I think what I've decided to do is use that as one of my bookend videos, and that'll be like an introduction to this season. Even though I'm like the third state into this season. I don't know. I think I'll use it for that. Not sure where else I would put that. That's it. I got a lot of cleaning up here to do. Organizing for tomorrow, because it's going to be a long drive tomorrow. And I'm not sure. I might try something different tomorrow. Or just do a typical vlog. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to hit a few cities. Maybe Clarksburg, Morgantown, Morgan something in West Virginia. I think I want to try to go through West Virginia as much as possible. Maybe go to Chagrin Falls in Ohio, head over, and then stay up south of Ann Arbor, weather permitting. Or maybe go through Lewisburg, although that's going to be way out of the way. I'm thinking out loud. Anyway, I'll see you in the morning. Or actually, I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for hanging with me. It was a good day. Good fun day. I'll see you in the next one. And if I haven't shared all my waterfall images, I'll share a few more now. That's all I got for now. As always, I don't want to scream because I have a neighbor. More all of this later. Thanks for watching.